Hello, my name is Jason Jett. I'm the pastor of Eastside Baptist Church in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I want to say thank you for prayerfully and financially supporting our missionaries to West Africa, James and Angie Ruckman. It's been a privilege to observe them and serve alongside them, and I have no doubt that God is going to use their love for Him and their heart for the African people to make a great difference for God's glory in the coming years.
God did not create man to die. But the Bible teaches us that the wages of sin is death. His name was Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ came to this earth. Jesus Christ was born of a Virgin Mary. Jesus Christ never sinned one time. But Moses said, I would rather live for God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin.
The Lord saved me at the age of 17 and called me to preach just 2 weeks later. The Apostle Paul said in Romans 15, verse 20 and 21, Yea, so have I strived to preach the gospel, not where Christ was named, lest I should build upon another man's foundation. But as it is written, To whom he was not spoken of, they shall see, and they that have not heard shall understand. God used those verses to call me to be a church planting missionary many years ago. Since 1999, the Lord has allowed us to plant churches both in the United States and in Ghana. During our last term, the Lord allowed us to plant the Falls International Baptist Church in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. From the very beginning, we knew this would be a most unusual church plant for us. God began working miracles to provide us with a storefront in which to hold church services. In 6 weeks, the Lord provided $32,000 and the labor needed to convert the empty space into a church meeting place. Within a year, He filled it up, primarily with immigrants from Africa. We've had the tremendous privilege of leading 66 souls to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, baptizing many of them, and watching God form them into a local church for His glory. While serving the Lord in Sioux Falls, our 3 boys, Jimmy, Jesse, and Micaiah, have grown into godly, mature young men and are serving the Lord faithfully. Over the last 3 years, while planning Falls International Baptist Church in Sioux Falls, the Lord allowed me to travel back and forth to Ghana twice a year to continue our church planting efforts there. By God's grace, we were able to help Pastor Dari Olajumoyi constitute a group of believers into the Fundamental Bible Baptist Church in Apremdo, Ghana. The Lord also allowed us to finish training and then ordain 2 men into the gospel ministry, Frederick Adu and Augustine Amoa. Pastor Frederick Adu has been sent out and is currently planning the Fundamental Bible Baptist Church in the village of Agona and Quanta. Pastor Augustine Amoa has been sent to the seaside village of Shama and is currently planning a new church there as well. Lord willing, Angie and I will move back to Ghana on January 4th of 2022. God has already allowed us to form a church planting ministry called the Hope of Africa Baptist Ministry. This will serve as our NGO, a non-government organization, in Ghana, allowing us to legally do the following. Number 1, preach Christ in as many villages as we can possibly reach. There are literally tens of thousands of villages across West Africa that remain completely unreached with the gospel. Number 2, plant as many fundamental Baptist churches as the Lord gives us the ability to. We believe the only way to successfully advance the cause of Christ long term is to leave a trail of churches behind us who are actively preaching Christ. Number 3, establish Bible institutes. The Apostle Paul told Timothy, And the things which thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. It is our calling to train the next generation of gospel-preaching church planners. The Lord has already allowed us to establish the Fundamental Bible Baptist Institute, where men are being trained right now to carry the gospel across West Africa. Number 4, to bring in scripture and humanitarian containers every year, giving our church planners and their churches the needed resources to advance the gospel rapidly. The Hope of Africa Baptist Ministry will also give us the ability to legally purchase land in Ghana, to construct church buildings there, and temporarily support the men who graduate from our Bible Institute and are sent out to plant churches. With over 30 million souls in Ghana and nearly 400 million people in the 17 nations of West Africa, God has called us to prayerfully establish an aggressive local church planting ministry to preach Christ and plant churches throughout that region. Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 20 says, "The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved." Would you commit to fast and pray for my wife and I, as well as the Hope of Africa Baptist Ministry? The Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 16:9, "For a great door and effectual is opened unto me, and there are many adversaries." Would you also ask the Lord what your role is in advancing the cause of the gospel? Would you make yourself available to the Lord by simply saying, "Lord, here am I, send me"? We desperately need laborers reaching the world with the gospel. How can we sit by idly when multiplied millions have never heard the gospel? I promise you that God has a place and a people for you to reach with the gospel. Our place is West Africa. Our people are West Africans. What is your place?